Judging by quarter time, you weren't pleased. I
imagine
you'd probably improve a great deal.
That was bad quarter time. Unfortunately, I think we probably needed it at that point. We came with a plan today and just didn't execute it, which is pretty clear because we had a chat pre-game on air, talked about how we wanted to come and play against a very good side. That was going to be a tough challenge, but we didn't execute it all today. In fact, we almost played the opposite way, and that's the most disappointing part. We don't have issues when we don't execute by foot or by hand, or maybe we don't kick straight for goal. We get frustrated, but we don't get angry. Whereas at quarter time, to not play the way we wanted to play, and they were very good, but to give them what they were after, there's no surprise that we were so far behind.
We spoke to you after the Collingwood game, and it looked like you'd almost turned the corner a bit with the away performances, but today the narrative just continues, I guess, and it's something that's probably frustrating you, but it's hard to deny it, isn't it, at this point?
Yes, I can't deny that. There's an issue there when we play away. I mean, as you said, we play a Collingwood game at the MCG and we bring an outstanding performance. But there is a trend there that we've already looked into, we'll continue to look into, and we'll continue to try and improve. These things turn quickly. These things, I'm confident that that will click. Our away form will click. We thought our last effort was a really strong one against Collingwood, and this week unfortunately just drops us back, and so the commentary's valid.
Explain the defensive sort of lapses at times. You see, I think what they have for 81 points at half time's a lot. Can you explain what the problem was there, do you think?
Oh, it's more about probably not being on the same page. You come with a plan, and unfortunately, if you don't have 18 of you executing the same plan, then you lose all cohesion, connection on the field, and gaps appear, and our opponents today are too good for you to give those sort of gaps. Centre bounce early, we were smashed out of centre bounce, and so our contest wasn't where it needed to be. So it was a combination of things, but we go into games with an intention of the way we want to play, and 81 points, or whatever it was at half time, it does not fit that. So we have to lick our wounds on this one. We've in saying all of that, we don't give up. We just never give up. That's what I love about our group. We've had a chat post-game already, and paint's coming off the walls in there. They're as disappointed as I am, but to be able to finish, and the scoreboard's flattering, I know. The game wasn't that close, but we don't give up. Our guys just keep fighting. We got a good lesson today early, just not where we need to be.
What's the theory on what we talked about? I asked you a little bit ago about the away record and performances. What's your theory on what's going wrong there, and perhaps what happened at the start today?
Oh, there's a number of different things we look at. We turn it upside down trying to find out, okay, what it is. But I've worked with enough teams, and we've got some experienced people around the footy club that have seen it before, and it can click really fast. It comes with youth. It's when you're performing and you're at home and you're in front of a big crowd, and it's an environment that you're used to, and you train on that deck, and the support's there. It's you get used to that. Whereas when you're playing away, we've got guys that haven't played at Marvel. Last week we had a couple that hadn't played at the MCG. Those are some of the challenges, but I'm not here to make excuses. Today wasn't necessarily about the fact that we haven't played a lot of footy at Marvel. It's clear on the screen we came with a certain plan and didn't execute.
Mate, did you take anything out of the way you did finish the game, or was there any did you just see that as junk time and then it's just the overriding sense of disappointment, or did you actually take anything out of that?
Yeah, no, I want to be respectful because our opponents were very good today, and they put us away. We had our chances towards the end, but it was flattering. Again, we would definitely take positives out of the second half. We flipped it on its head at halftime and changed, exactly what we were doing. We had to acknowledge the fact that we didn't come and didn't bring certain things in certain areas today, so we changed that. And the guys executed really well in the second half for what we then went to. So that's really pleasing that we're able to, I guess, hold up under a barrage, even at quarter time. I think it was 12 points, was it? So it felt like a lot more than that when we got to quarter time, which is why Bad Cop came out. But, yeah, pleased that they fought it out.
Riley O'Brien copped a high bump late. See all right?
I haven't caught up with Riley. I haven't heard otherwise. Haven't caught up with the doctors yet, but not one I'll comment on until I catch up with him.
A couple of their midfielders got off the chain, Matty, and Darcy and Zach. Did you think about trying to tighten screws there, or was that attempt made on those guys?
Yeah, we didn't go to a hard tag, if that's what you're asking. In those moments, it was more about what we weren't doing elsewhere. We had a talk about it upstairs. Is that something we go to? We find more often than not when we give our midfielders a chance to, I guess, bring themselves back into the fight, they get going. Unfortunately today, though, we just gave them too much room. And a lot of that was off our errors. In transition, when you're making mistakes with the ball in hand or you're not defending well enough as a team, some of the better players can really expose you, and they did that today.
Can you talk us through, you said half-time we have to acknowledge you're not doing some things, and you almost change your plan? How do you approach that at half-time? Do you have to reset everything? How does it work?
No, we do a lot of work in the pre-season around, we don't have one game plan. We've got a number that we can look at and go to. Depending on the opposition, depending on the scenario, momentum in a game. Today was one of those where we had to go to plan D or... yeah. It's not funny, you blokes. Yeah, today was one. It was important today we changed it up. We weren't getting it done the way we believe we needed to. And so that was, I guess that's another positive out of the game. When you have another game plan, you're able to go to it and then execute. It's a positive for us to take away. But I think this is one we'll try and move on as quick as we can, knowing that we didn't execute what we came to do, and then we've got a really important game coming up next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.